All right, guys, welcome back. Confidently Flawed. Danny here and Brooke, and we have a special guest today. But before I introduce him, if you've ever been in a situation, and maybe you are right now, where you just feel like you're doing absolutely everything right for your health and fitness, right? You're crushing your workouts, you're walking, getting steps in, you're eating super clean, you're doing all of the things. However, you step on the scale at the end of the week each week and it just isn't moving. It's stuck. Or maybe it's not even the scale. Maybe it's just your energy is low. Maybe it's all of these other situations that you're just like, I don't get it. I'm doing the things, I'm listening to my coach, I'm doing all these different situations, and just nothing seems to be working. Well, what we wanted to do really over the next probably three podcasts is to dive a little bit deeper into some of that and say, maybe it's not necessarily something you're doing, but more so maybe something you're missing. And maybe it's time to do a little bit more digging and maybe look a little bit more internally and maybe a little bit differently than the way you've done it or taken about it in the past. Because, yes, for the most part, if you eat better, if you move your body, if you strength train, if you do the right things, you get steps in, you focus on your stress, you focus on your sleep, right? Like you do all of those things, generally you're probably going to be pretty healthy. And generally you're probably going to get pretty good results when it comes to your health and fitness. But sometimes there's more that needs to be looked at. And that's why we wanted to bring in my man Jesse here from Logic Health. He's actually the CEO co-owner with it. We've actually brought Jesse into Raw Fitness to kind of speak to some of our clients and all that because I've been doing this like 17 years now and I've seen everything under the sun. And not to toot my own horn, if you will, I can help people get really, really healthy and fit, right? But sometimes there's just situations that I personally can't do anything about, right? And a lot of the times that comes to something that is or isn't happening within the body or something they might be deficient in. So, what we wanted to do is we wanted to kind of break this up into different segments of things. We wanted to talk about kind of what Logic Health does and what they do and specialize in because it's a new kind of thing or concept, at least new to a lot of people or the average person, that a lot of them are just now kind of starting to hear about, and but it's making big waves. And even me personally have started to dabble into that the last few months, and it's, I feel, tremendously different in a positive way and stuff I didn't even know I necessarily needed to, which I'm super excited about. So I guess without further ado, Jesse, welcome to the Confidently Flawed podcast, my man.
Thank you. Appreciate the intro.
For sure. So, Jesse, you've worked with a lot of people in your past. You got a pretty extensive background when it comes to the internal body, right? Hormones and peptides and the new craze with like GLPs and all of that. So, if you don't mind, kind of just share a little bit of your background and maybe some of the stuff that you've seen kind of pop up, especially start talking to some of the raw clients of like some of the things that you see that's like maybe like a telltale sign that they need to maybe look a little bit deeper.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. So my background is I've been in the hormone replacement therapy and peptide space for over a decade now. It has really changed a lot in the last 10 years too. We started with just hormones, a little bit of blood work, the peptides started coming in, and then now the GLP-1s. There's been a lot of different changes in people's perception, different ways that we could reach out to people as well. It's been all over the place, but it's been positive because when I started this, people, even physicians, were coming and they're like, "Hey, everything you're doing is wrong," and I'm like, "Okay, I still don't agree with you because we are changing people's lives and there's some cool things we're doing here." So over time, physicians started to see as well that, oh my gosh, this might be something going on, something they're onto something here. A lot of physicians are not taught in hormones, and it's not their fault, but um, we really just need to know that take everything with a grain of salt, right? And there's things that you can do to put your health back into your own hands. So what we do here is we help individuals reach their goals, their health goals of all different walks of life. We have we do full hormonal panels, so we check all different hormones in specific ways that a lot of physicians don't even know how to do. So we're really different there. We help people with weight loss, energy, muscle gain, um, cognitive function. And a really big thing recently is that have been working with a lot of women. A lot of women are coming to us because over the last 30 years, I feel a lot of women have been wrongfully educated in hormones. They're sent to a million different physicians, right, to go try and see different things. They're just said, oh, hey, you're within these ranges, you're fine. But with women, it is different. You have different blood ranges all the time throughout the month, too. So it's very important to work with people that kind of have experience and know what they're doing. And again, I do not speak down on physicians. Physicians are incredible. I love physicians. We take a different approach with hormone optimization because over time we are taught to just decline, and physicians say, "Oh my gosh, you're normal," and a lot of women, especially, are saying, "Oh my gosh, we're not normal. We were just supposed to be feeling like this. I can't think. I can't lose my weight. I can't, I'm doing everything in the gym, doing all my stuff with Danny." And the physician's just like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to happen. Wrong. You can do things about that by giving yourself the hormones back in a correct way with physician oversight as well, with physicians that actually kind of know what they're doing. But again, get your blood work done and kind of see where you're going from there. And also make sure to communicate your symptoms and how you're feeling to people who actually are
Mhm.
listening.
I
Yeah,
love that.
go ahead, Brooke.
No, I love that. And Jesse, I know you don't know me well, but I know the podcast listeners know me well, and they know how much I love the topic of hormones and how I do believe hormones impact men as well, but I think they're just so strongly impacting on women because exactly like you said, practitioners just don't know what to look for as much. And not that they don't know what they're doing. They're obviously very, very skilled individuals, but they don't special like a lot of doctors don't specialize in hormones. And I know we dealt with that so much in our infertility journey. I'm like, no, I need you to run more advanced testing. It's not, I like these basic numbers are not enough. And then also as a former professional athlete, like the wear and tear that like that did to my body and the hormones. And, I used to be a big CrossFitter every day of my cycle, not just during certain phases. And, that's very damaging. And just thinking about how, especially raw, like your demographic is typically like middle-aged women and all the years of the whether it's unknown like what's going on or the damage that you might have done, I'm sure just compounds. And Jesse, I'm sure you see that with a lot of people you work with, especially women, is as they get older, it might not be just menopause. It might be compounding of years and years and years and years of just not supporting your hormones. And then your body's just like in chaos mode.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
So
Yeah.
what are, Jesse, what are the thing like, because you mentioned it earlier, like what do people do, or like we'll talk women because we've kind of been hitting on women a lot here. Like what do women do like if they're going through menopause, or maybe they're not even in menopause, maybe they're past menopause, maybe they're pre-menopause, whatever. Like what do they do if their labs with quotations are normal, or I guess I should say that their labs are normal with quotations, right? Like what does that mean, or like what can they do about something like that if their labs are normal but they're gaining weight, their energy sucks, like they're all these symptoms that they're having, and they know they shouldn't be feeling that way, even though people are saying it's normal, right? Like what do they do for that, or like what is that a sign of? Like any insight that you can kind of give, or maybe to help kind of people listening here.
Yeah. Well, first, what the heck is normal? Um,
Fair.
so normal for their ranges are anywhere from people from the age of 18 to 100, right? Everybody is cast into one under one umbrella. And it doesn't matter if you're the person sitting on the couch, are they not being active? We have fast food on every corner, right? So that's normal. And the people in your gym taking steps to better their health are the same as that those people? No. So um, the step is to first get your blood work done. If they say that you're normal, um, kind of you could get different advice because you want to bring those numbers up to optimal because you want to perform optimally, and there's nothing wrong with that. Second, there's different things you can do as far as peptides to reach your goals that we offer as well. Again, muscle gain, fat loss, cognitive, immunity, um, all across the board, man. So there's a lot of different medications that we offer to help with their fitness goals too. So obviously nutrition and then taking care of their body in the gym. But again, I want to get back to normal. Why is it normal? It's not normal. Just because they're saying you have to be normal doesn't mean that you're normal. There's a range. I could hire a kid in third grade to say, are they within this range, right? So again, not putting down physicians whatsoever, but just think about that when you go to a physician who says, oh, you're within normal range, there's nothing we can do about it.
Mhm. I wrote down when you said this, common does not equal normal. And I think that
Mhm.
that's something that we like deal with a lot too, not even in the practitioner space, but just like in just reality, right? Like, especially with women, we talk about our problems with everybody. So it's like, oh, I felt this, I felt this, yada, yada, yada. Oh, I did too. Oh, so that's just normal. No, just because it's common does not mean it's normal. So, definitely like that. But if you don't mind, Jesse, if we could like kind of rewind a little bit for the listener who has no idea what peptides are, could you just kind of give a brief explanation of like what peptides are? Like they're really popular now. People are talking about them a lot, but I feel like there might be people who don't know what peptides are.
No, you're right. Most people don't know what peptides are, so I agree with you. Peptides are chains of amino acids that break up or build up proteins. So basically, when we have them in medication form, they're signalers to do stuff within the body. Our human growth hormone ones, uh, they signal to your pituitary gland to produce and release human growth hormone instead of using exogenous or outside growth hormone. You can tell your body to just be like, hey, it's time to give me more. So that's pretty cool. We have ones that heal. The biggest one, the most popular one's probably BPC 157. They call that the Wolverine peptide when it's with TB 500. Also, I know that a lot of these sound like robot names. So I don't expect a lot of people to remember these because there's over 7,000 peptides, but we work with about 20 to 30. And it's more of a natural way to stimulate, if you will, different things happening in the body. And it's been remarkable the last couple of years because I feel that they're very safe, but the government doesn't know enough about them yet, or the FDA hasn't done enough studies on them, and they're seeing that they're helping, so they're trying to take them away.
Mm. Well, the FDA claims a lot of things are healthy that's not. So,
We've
I
had
just want
that
to throw
talk a
that out
lot
there
on these
very
episodes.
lightly.
Hey, you can say what you want, man. We've talked
yeah.
quite a bit on these episodes. Good stuff, man. So, like, so what is it like if I am taking peptides now, but like if I'm new to it and I'm gonna start taking peptides, like what is it, if I'm like one of those people or one of those women that like their energy sucks, their anxiety is always up and they can't lose weight, right? Like why like how do peptides help me? Is it just simply it signals to the body that okay, you need to produce this or you need to do that, and then it trickles into like start kicking it, or is it just all over the place of like what it actually does and everything there?
There's signalers, yes. So basically, it depends on which one you're doing and what your goals are, really. But peptides are not a, a long-term thing. We always want to make sure that your hormones are at a good level first. Now, not necessarily that that has to happen because you have goals that you want to reach, right? And you can introduce a peptide without introducing hormones. It's everybody's different, but each one does something a little bit differently by actively doing something else in the body. I don't know how to say it without using large words, so that's where I'm at right now.
It makes sense. What are like if I'm obviously like I'd want to talk to a practitioner and everything there, but like I guess what are some of the benefits like I personally know, but like so like the viewers can hear like what are the different types of benefits that somebody that could take peptides get? Like fat loss, sleep, like energy, like what are some of the things that they could expect from different peptides?
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, you could use the base words of energy, fat loss, muscle gain, and brain function. But when we break it down, they get a little bit bigger, like mitochondrial function, things from a
Mm,
cellular level that help with autophagy, think brain peptides that help with synaptic pathways, um, things that work with your melanin to tan your skin. We have ones that are anti-anxiety, anti-depression, things that help with making your mood better. Um, Again, muscle gain. My one of my favorites is it helps with immunity and it can help reverse allergies and helps with heart health. Anybody who's dealing with heart health, and we have ones that help with like mold toxicity and infections. So these things are kind of revolutionary, and not a lot of people know about them. My favorite one that I talked about um, at the beginning of COVID, we were giving first responders and people in the hospitals this peptide, and then all of a sudden it was gone. Why was it gone? I can't say because there was no reason why, but who am I, this guy who just works with peptides, right, to say, hey, you just took away this peptide that's helping reverse a certain thing that's going on right now. Why?
What's going
I
on?
don't know. But it was gone for a couple of years and now we have it back and I'm ecstatic.
Interesting how that works.
So interesting.
Question on, so okay, so we're talking peptides. You had made the comment it's not like a long-term thing. But like even going deep, like is this like I think you said medication, like is this, are these injectables, are these supplements, are these powders? Like how exactly do people take these? Like what's the like how do you administer them?
Yeah, absolutely. So some of them are in a subcutaneous shot. Um, can you guys see me okay?
Yeah, you're
You're
kind of cutting
Okay.
a
you're
little
kind
bit.
of
So,
frozen, but you're good now.
okay, cool. I'll have to just go from my phone next time. Um, but actually, some of them are in subcutaneous injections, so just the tiny insulin needle. Some of them are oral. You can do them in creams as well, but there's many different applications. The most popular are probably the injections, like how the
Okay.
GLPs are. But I'm putting together a protocol of just orals right now for somebody, so you don't have to do injections.
What Jesse, like I know it's all gonna be all over the place. There's 7,000 different peptides, so this is a pretty wide ranging question. But like just for like people thinking about it, right? If they're like, this sounds very interesting. This sounds almost too good to be true, right? Like what are maybe some like common ones for like some of those like main ones that a lot of people have, right? Like stress or anxiety, depression, we'll say muscle gain and even like fat loss. Like what are like the top 1 to 3 of each that you generally like that maybe they can like look into more, right? And
Yeah,
like read up on it, learn more about it, before they kind of, make an educated decision on like, is this for them?
right. For anxiety or stress, there's C-Link, C-Max, and PE2228. It's more of a cognitive one as well, but those help fat loss, tesamorelin, tesofensine. There's a new one called SLUPP332 that I'm really excited to try. MOTS-C helps with mitochondrial function, so it's exercising. It's telling your body that it's exercising while you're at rest. So that's pretty cool. And for women, I really like CJC 1295 with ipamorelin. Muscle gain, any of the growth hormone ones that I talked about, which, okay, most people don't know what that is, so I'm going to re-say it. Tesamorelin, CJC 1295, IGF-1, LR3, gives you really good pumps in the gym as well. As far as brain function, I love dihexa. It's actually created for individuals with Alzheimer's and dementia, but we get to use it for other things. It's really helped me because I used to do a lot of partying back in the day and burnt all of my brain cells, and I got them all back. So that's exciting. There's a couple new
Did that.
cognitive ones coming out, but again, the healing ones, the gut ones for gut health and healing, BPC 157, TB 500, KPV, and then we have one that's GHK-CU, which is a copper peptide, also known as the Botox-like peptide because it helps to heal your skin and smooth wrinkles.
Pause this and write them all down, people. Go look them up. So, Jesse, I know because it's so new to people, like, what would you say to somebody that's like, this sounds so interesting. I really want to do it. Like, they're just kind of on the fence of if they should do it, if they shouldn't. Like, what would you say to that person?
I would say when you do your research online with these peptides, you're going to see a lot of research chemical sites out there.
Mm.
Everybody and their brother are making that right now. I get offered to do it all the time. I say absolutely not. You want to get them from accredited pharmacies, things that go by specific rules, people not making them in bathtubs or in the backyard, because these are things you're putting in your body, right?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure they're coming from an accredited source. Do your research as far as asking the right people. There's information all over. You can message me, message Danny, whenever. But make sure that you are not getting it from every influencer on social media and from these research chemical sites.
Makes sense. Pretty much
Yeah.
built to get it from an actual pharmacy and not a bathtub.
Absolutely. And I think that's the hardest part with something like this is, I think that the noise of peptides is getting very loud. And so, unfortunately, like the supplement industry is like the wild, wild west, right? Everyone hears that this specific supplement is the best thing since Swiss cheese. So everyone wants to make their own supplement. And you got people at Kroger buying, a magnesium from a Kroger brand. And it's like, okay, but unfortunately, there's probably not much regulation. And I'm guessing with the same thing with peptides, there's not much regulation, which I personally, people are going to probably be like, what do you mean you like that? Like, I think the less the government has their hands off of it, the better, but you just have to do that much more research, right? When you start to have regulations and the government has their hands in it, the FDA, pharmaceuticals, like, then I think it gets a little bit, you know, I don't know. I think they change it a little bit. But of course, with that, when you got things that aren't so regulated, you have to make sure you are going to a reputable source. You are not just buying peptides on the first thing, first ad you see on TikTok. Oh, sweet, this person claims this. I'm gonna buy it. And you're like spend thousands of dollars and you realize, oh, this did nothing for me. So I am guessing working with somebody like you, Jesse, is super important because like you said, you do blood work and you test people's blood work and you're really, you're not just, I'm guessing people don't just come into you saying, I want to lose weight. And you're like, okay, here you go. See you later. Like you're actually going to l- ask more questions, do more research, draw more labs to really know, okay, what is going on?
Yeah, I loved your point there. Like that was spot on with something I would say as well. And even you can you can reference Amazon right now with their supplements.
Mm,
People are falsely selling supplements left and right there just because you can. And then
yeah.
with the Kroger supplements as well, that's like you get like you buy vitamin D, right? You don't know how much vitamin D is actually in it, even though it says it, right? You don't know what the quality is. So I agree absolutely. And with these pharmacies, they have to go by specific rules and regulations that are set by FDA anyway. But we all know who controls the FDA, and it takes a medication 10 to 15 years on average to become FDA approved. So if something's new and it's working, do we really have to wait 10 to 15 years for it? Exactly what you said. Make sure you find a reputable source.
Love it. I think that's super important. So, if someone were, let's say, local listening to this and wanting to work with you, can you just give a little bit more information what that looks like?
Yeah, we are nationwide actually. So you can work with us anywhere across the US. You can go to logichealth.co, not .com. Co is the new thing. So you can go and fill out a form there or just fill out a little interest thing. We can get back to you. But hopefully we'll be pushing out some more content on social media here soon. Again, we started as a company in February or March, but I've been doing this for a decade, so we're still an infant type of company, but you'll be seeing a lot more from us soon.
And I can say too, firsthand, just Jesse, I'll give you a shameless plug here. Like what I like about Logic, because I've started to work with them on a personal level, not just with our clients, um, is they don't. It's not. So you can go get labs, you can get blood work anywhere, right? And they'd be like, "Oh, you're fine. This looks good. This looks good," or like maybe something is off, and they'll be like, "All right, just do this," right? What I like about Jesse and the team, and then the doctors they work with, because you don't just work with health specialists that understand hormones and peptides and fitness and all that, like you also work with doctors who he also knew fitness, and he was probably the most in shape doctor I've ever worked with, which is kind of crazy to say. But like what I liked about that is I met with them both. Like we had extensive conversations of what my blood work said, but also what my goals were, what my symptoms were, what I wanted to accomplish. And they created a custom plan for me based on what I wanted and what my blood work said. So it wasn't just like, here's this one thing that's so like it's not creative. It's not thinking, outside the box. It's just like this is what it says, so you only do this thing, and we only have this one solution. It was like, here's these different avenues we can take. Let's talk about it. Let's do this. What's your budget? Let's do blah 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 blah. And then we built out a custom plan, and I'll tell you, I feel freaking amazing. So, little plug for you there, Jesse. But I feel really good. And the customer service side of things, which you don't always find in medical and stuff like that, has been phenomenal. Like I, I message Jesse all the time, and he always gets back to me with questions. He's probably sick of it by now, but
Yeah,
I'm inquisitive.
I appreciate that. That's why I built that. That's why I built Logic because uh, a majority of the other companies in our space, I feel, do not care about the customer service or the longevity well-being of the patient. I feel that they want to get the patient in, give them a huge invoice, and then say goodbye.
Yep.
I care about the longevity and being the trusted source. That's what we want Logic to be because I don't feel like there's a company like that out there. So that's
Yep.
my vision, and we have core values that align with it as well. So I just want to make sure that everybody's comfortable getting set up, coming in, and really create a community of like-minded individuals.
I love that. And Brooke, I don't know if you want to touch on anything, but what we'll do is we'll put a link just where you can like fill out a form and start having a conversation with Jesse and the team. It is because it is medical and it is online. They might ask you for like driver's license number, all of that. Like it's just to make sure you're a real person, right? So don't be alarmed by it. But we'll add that in the show notes, Brooke. And if you guys do have any interest, anything like that, on learning more about hormones, peptides, you can fill that form out, schedule a call, and maybe they can help. Cool. All right, guys. Well, if you found this valuable, you like learning about, kind of new things in the industry and, are interested in peptides, hormones, and maybe you're just stuck and you don't know how to get out of it. Maybe this was that episode for you. Or if you know somebody else, maybe that sounds like and might get some value from this. All that we ask is just share the episode, give us a rating review, and we'll probably bring Jesse back on for another episode or two here coming up, just so you guys can learn a little bit more about hormones and peptides and how they can help you. But we'll see you next time on another Confidently Flawed podcast episode.